Okay, so in this tutorial, we're going to show you how to use Aurasma to create that really cool augmented reality kind of setup. So you're going to go to the website, aurasma.com, and that's going to take you to the Aurasma Studio website. If you have never used Aurasma before, you're going to have to create a sign-in. It is totally free. There is absolutely no obligation financially, so you can sign in using that. If you do already have an Aurasma, go ahead and sign into that. On this, I would suggest you use something that's very easy to search for. So I used Edwards A 1985 as my username because that's really easy for kids or parents to find, and I'll tell you why that's important later in this tutorial. So once you get logged into Aurasma, you're going to see a couple of different things pop up. First, you're going to see featured skins. Those are kind of cool. Once you start playing with Aurasma a little bit, you can figure out what those do. But right now I want to show you how to create a new aura. So you're going to go to Create New Aura. You are going to click on Create New Aura, and then you're going to go to My Auras. And right now, what I want to do is I want to upload a trigger image. So my trigger image is, like we showed you at the beginning, my trigger image is that picture of all the glow sticks. So I'm going to name my trigger image something that is going to let me know which particular student this project belongs to. So this is Judy's Science Fair project, so I'm going to put the name of the trigger as Judy's Science Fair project. If you want coordinates, that means that you can only see that augmented reality at that particular location. So I never do coordinates because I want to be able to travel with this and show it at conferences and things. So I downloaded my trigger image by clicking Browse and finding that. And then once again, the description is just going to be Judy's Science Fair project. So we're going to save that. And while that image is saving, it's going to ask us a couple of questions about the image after it has finished processing. So the first thing it's going to tell us is that the image has sparse image recognition capabilities. So that's not really a huge deal. Now, if you do download the image and then you try to use the augmented reality app and it doesn't show up, that's when it becomes an issue. For me, that's never really been a problem. The only time it becomes a problem is if you're trying to use a photograph that has a really little contrast in it. Other than that, everything's fine. So I'm going to click Upload Overlay. And so I'm going to use my video that you just saw us edit in Movie Maker. That's going to be our Science Fair overlay. It's her Science Fair project. So we named it Science Fair Experiment. We uploaded that video. And I'm creating a new folder so that way I can keep it kind of organized on my end. I like to preemptively make sure that I organize stuff as I go, or I just have an absolute wreck. So the description is once again Judy's Science Fair Experiment or Science Fair project. We do want it to loop because I want it to continuously play. If someone's standing there and they're really excited about this project, I don't want it to just stop when it gets to the end. I want it to play again so that they can watch it over again if they wanted to see it again. This is really great if you do a science fair and parents come and they're just so excited about their kiddo. And they want to pass the iPad to the grandparent and let them watch it too, and then the kid wants to see it. So this is a really good option to have it continuously playing so that the students or whoever's standing there observing can continue to watch the video over and over and over again. So it's going to let you preview what that's going to look like. You can make it as large or as small as you would like to make it on the image. You can see some of the buttons at the bottom. You can zoom out on this image so that you can see the entire thing so you're not just kind of randomly stretching it. Also, to make sure that you keep the aspect correct, you want to hold in the Shift key as you stretch, because if you're not doing that, it's going to stretch it too far one direction or too far the other direction. And then you're going to end up with, somebody looking really, really wide or somebody looking really, really narrow and tall. So you want to be really careful about how you do that. I want my science fair image, the picture that we chose, I want that to line up with the actual title of her picture, so that's why I chose that placement that I did. I want to make my overlay border white instead of that peachy color. And then I want it to fade in, so I have that selected as well. You can choose initially hidden. I don't ever choose that, but that's completely up to you. So we're going to hit next, and that's going to let us save our aura. So aura is going to be the name of your entire folder. So for example, if you were going to have a science fair, aura, all of your students' science fair experiment overlays are going to appear within that aura. You can even add hashtags. So you could add science, you could add hashtag science fair 2017, you could add a specific, like you could add hashtag glow stick, depending on what your student's project is. And then you're going to save. And now our aura is saved. And once again, it's going to give you that warning that it won't track well. I ignore it. It has yet to become a problem for me. And so now you can go back to your auras, to my auras. And you can close out of where you created that Science Fair 2017. And you can actually see Science Fair 2017. That was an old art show that we did. So Science Fair 2017. And there's your aura.